today. Today we start with lesson 17. And lesson 17, we are still busy with 2.3. And we will today look at the functions of financial institutions. In our country, our financial institution consists of commercial banks, the central bank, and the stock exchange. So if we look at this, before we continue with the functions of the commercial bank, we just want to recap a little bit and see if you still remember what an exchange rate is about. Please remember that an exchange rate, you must understand what it means if it appreciates and depreciates. You can see here I asked the definition of exchange rate. With example, I gave you a calculation that you had to do to see if you can do it on your own. And then tell me how political unrest can affect the exchange rate. So what will happen? Like I've said, you will then as a firm decide, what must I do if I see that a country can't control their workers or can't control their political parties and their members. Okay, now the functions of commercial banks. Give me examples of commercial banks in Namibia. We have at least 8 different commercial banks. You can look on the internet, it varies from year to year. Some of them are only electronic banks. They are not the usual bank that we know, like Bank Windhoek or First National Bank or Standard Bank or Nedbank. That is the ones we know, but there are lots of other banks like Trustco Bank, for example. And then you get e-banks. Okay, so the first function of a commercial bank is to receive deposits. Now they can receive only your savings, that if you save, say for a trip overseas, that you put money in the saving account every month and you earn an interest on that money that you save at the bank. So sometimes you said, okay, but I don't just want to save it in a normal saving account. I want to save it in a fixed deposit. That means you get 3 months fixed deposit, 6 months and 12 months fixed deposit. If you save your money in a fixed deposit, you earn much more interest than in a normal saving account. But then it means you can't, if it is a year fixed deposit, you can't withdraw the money from the bank before a year is passed, or a year passed. Okay, so we have examples of types of fixed deposits. And that you must remember, if you save money in a normal saving or in a fixed deposit, you will receive interest from the bank. Then the bank have another function that they advise clients on investments. So they have people that they employ that can advise their clients what to do with their money, where to invest it, and so forth. Then they also act as executors of wills. They draw up the will, and after a person dies, they will also complete this task and make sure that everyone gets what they, according to the will. Then the second point or function of commercial banks is offering loans. Now, our commercial banks offer the normal long-term loans. They offer overdrafts that you can get on your normal current account. It's also a short-term loan. And then they offer house loans, house mortgages, and they offer car hire purchases. that is different types of loans that they offer. Okay, remember in brackets, if you take up a loan, doesn't matter which one, you will pay interest to the bank for using their money. So it is very important that you know that. If you have lots of assets to offer to the bank and lots of security to offer, or lots of security to offer to the bank, like other buildings or assets that you have, then you can get normally these loans at a lower interest rate. The last function is that it makes payments. The function, so how can you make payments if you have an account at a commercial bank? And if you are a client of a commercial bank? I'm a client, for example, of Bank Windhoek. So if I can make payments in different ways. I can go and draw money from an ATM and use the cash and make a payment. I can make electronic payments on my laptop or on my cell phone. I can use my debit card or my credit card to pay for products here in the country or overseas. I can also make use of standing orders and debit orders. Now, a debit order is that you enter standing order, you go to the bank and you draw up an arrangement that the bank will make the payment on your behalf. And for the case of a standing order, it will be exactly the same payment. And for a debit order, it can be like your telephone account. It varies monthly. Okay, then that is the functions of the commercial bank, what they offer us as clients. Then we have the functions of a central bank. Now, each country have only one central bank. Our central bank is the Bank of Namibia. Okay, the Bank of Namibia have certain functions as a central bank. It is seen as the government's bank. What that means is the government must have an account at the central bank, where all their money that they receive will go into this account, and all the payments that must be done on behalf of the government will be done out of this account. A central bank is also a banker's bank. A banker's bank is that it is a bank that all commercial banks must have accounts at the central bank. And this accounts mean that a certain amount of all commercial banks' deposits must be kept in this account. And this is how the government controls the amount of money in supply. Okay, or one of the ways. Then it is a lender on last resort. Now, I experienced that students don't really understand this concept. It is the lender on last resort. It means if a commercial bank have cash shortages, they have lots of assets, they are not bankrupt or anything, but they have a cash shortage, then the central bank can be the lender on last resort to solve the cash problem, that they have enough cash in circulation. It is not to give loans that you can continue to run as a commercial bank, specifically for that. It is also the sole note issuer. Now, very important that you understand this, that they don't produce the notes and coins themselves. They organize it who will produce it. They get tenders in. They work with these companies for years, and then the company that gets the tender will continue to produce the coins and notes. And if the central bank receives then this coins and notes, they will issue it to the commercial banks who need it. Nobody else can do that. Okay. Then they make sure that the banking system operates according to the government laws and policies. So if the government law is that anyone that wants to take up a loan must put down for a house, must put down at least 25% of the value of that house as a deposit, then all banks must apply to it. So you must also, if the policies say that every commercial bank must keep 5% minimum deposits at the central bank, then all commercial banks must do it. They have also rules and regulations when it comes to foreign exchange, which you can offer to your clients as a commercial bank. And then the central bank also manages the debt of the country. It don't mean that they are responsible for, in a way that they are the one that get the blame if it isn't paid. I would rather say that it comes out of the government's account and they make the payment on behalf of the government. You hear the words? On behalf of the government. It still stays the government's responsibility. But they manage the national debt, see that it is paid on time, and that there is enough money to pay the debts. Okay, and then the last function of the central bank is about the foreign currency. Each central bank keeps foreign currency in the as stock in the bank that they can offer to any commercial bank whenever they need it. So sometimes they have an oversupply of it and then they sell it on the money market. Sometimes they have an undersupply and then they must demand it on the money market to keep their stock of foreign currency, that it is enough.